All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet another guided newspaper practice session. We organize these sessions every morning in order to help you improve your fundamental skills of reading, of developing vocabulary, and of speaking. All right. So, today's guided newspaper article is about a museum. It's called Museum of Everything. It's situated in a place called Rotterdam, and that's situated in Netherlands. Okay. So that's going to be our article for today. Just give me a hi if you have already joined in. Deep, hi, good morning. Yes. So I'll just wait for one more minute and then I'll get started. Hi, Madhvi, Sam, Rohit. Hi. All right. Okay. So today's guided newspaper. Good morning, Kitsi, and good morning, everyone else who's joining in. If you're joining this session for the first time, or you're taking a look at this particular session as a recording, you might want to subscribe to our channel to receive these alerts directly. All right. So we organize these sessions every morning at 11 a.m. on YouTube with the aim to help you improve your reading skills, your vocabulary, and your speaking. All right. And today's article is about a museum of everything. It's called Museum of Everything. It's situated in a place called Rotterdam. Okay. Now, if you've already subscribed to our channel, if you have been, attending these sessions, you might understand that we do 4 rounds in these sessions. The first round is of listening, as in you listen to our speech and you try to understand the article as much as possible. The second round is guided reading. You read along with us and understand the meanings of some uncommon words, the words that you have not heard of. The third round is of guided speaking. You speak along with us with the same amount of stresses and pauses. What happens when you do guided speaking? You learn how to pause when you speak a sentence. You learn how to put commas. You learn how to pronounce certain words. And you develop confidence to speak in general. And the last round is of framing sentences and framing your own opinions. All right, so the aim of these sessions is to help you develop your basic skills in all the 4 sections of the IELTS. Okay, so we have considerable amount of people now. Ashok, Vandana, Akshada, Jitin, Avinash, Leshni. Okay. Hi, Arti. Yes. Okay. Okay. Great. So let's get started with today's article. Let's get started with today's article. So I'll just show you the heading very quickly. It's called the Museum of Everything, and it has about 150,000 exhibits. Okay, and it's called the Boijmans Museum, and it's located in a place called Rotterdam. Okay, so this article is a description of that museum. Let's get started. The first thing that you will do is you will simply just listen to what I am speaking. Okay, and then we will understand what each word actually means. All right, so just pay attention to me and just try and understand as much as possible. Let's get started. From a block away, it looks like a craft more from a more advanced civilization has landed in the center of Rotterdam. The structure is futuristic, with walls of mirrored glass curving up some 40 meters, reflecting the iron gray clouds and the fractured city skyline. It wouldn't be surprising if it had a tractor beam instead of a door. As I draw close, a middle aged Dutch couple are debating whether they like it. They decide not, but snap selfies in front of it anyway. Rotterdammers are used to high concept architecture, but what makes this building unusual is its function. It's a warehouse. Designed by the Dutch firm MVRDV and also known as the Depot, it has been created for one of the most well regarded art museums in the Netherlands, the Moijman van Ben. Okay, I can't pronounce that word. When I visit in mid September, contractors are installing vitrines and polishing concrete floors. In December, art handlers will begin moving in the museum's collection of Rembrandts, Bosches, Magrittes, and Daris, some 150,000 objects. It will fully open late next year. Okay, so a very simple article. Let's just read forward a few more sentences and then we will do guided reading. In the atrium, Jarrell X, the Boijman director, is wearing the look of a man who can't quite believe it's finally happening. A treasure chest, no? He exclaims, gesturing towards a dizzying lattice of glass stairwells above our heads. Every single thing we have will be on display. To call the depot a warehouse is, it turns out, to do it a considerable disservice. The building is an attempt to turn the Boijmans inside out. Instead of locking their crown jewels away behind closed doors, the institution has plowed 55 million euros into an open storage facility in the heart of the city, right next to the main 1930s building. Okay, interesting article. Did you guys understand it? How much of the article did you understand? Give me a percentage. Sana, hi. Maitri, hi. Joby, Shiv Kailash, Rajdeep, Lily, Shrimali, good morning. Pavan, yes. So, how much of the article did you understand? And is it interesting for you to know that there's such a museum having 150,000 objects? Imagine the number, right? Yes. Okay. Okay. Fine. Deep. All right. Okay. So there's anyone else who has understood the article, and just give me a percentage. How much did you understand? Avinash. Okay. Akshada. Madhvi. All right. Okay. Fine. I think most of you understood the article. You were able to picturize the content. You were able to imagine what the article was all about. Good. Manoj, Sam. Okay. Yes, it's easy, right? It's easy. If you picture it, it's very easy. And plus, we saw the image too. That's the reason I showed you the image. It's very easy to look at the image and then relate it to the article, right? Anyway, so let's just understand it sentence by sentence. Let's just get into a little more depth now. Okay, you're going to go a little slow, but make sure you follow what I say. Yes. Okay. From a block away, it looks like a craft from a more advanced civilization has landed in the center of Rotterdam. So it seems as if that it is a piece of craft. What is craft? Art, right? That's what is craft. So it looks like a craft from a more advanced civilization. Again, advanced civilization as in right now, 2020. Okay, so anything that's latest from the world of art, looks like that it has landed in the center of Rotterdam. Okay, so the sentence says that this particular piece of craft looks like as if it's come from the latest piece of artworks and it has landed in the center of Rotterdam. That's the first sentence. The structure is futuristic. The structure is futuristic. What does that mean? It means that it is well ahead of the future. It means that it is well ahead of its time. All right, it's very modern. That's what futuristic means. Okay, something that you will be able to relate to in the future as well. Anything that's modern. Okay, the structure is futuristic with walls of mirrored glass curving up some 40 meters. Mirrored glass. What is mirrored glass? Where you can see your reflection, right? It looks almost like a mirror, right? Futuristic means something that's in the future. All right, okay. Reflecting the iron gray clouds and the fractured city skyline. Iron gray clouds color, iron gray. All right, so if you know how iron looks like, the cast iron, and the tinge of gray, that's so it reflects this particular mirrored glass reflects the iron gray clouds and the fractured city skyline. What does fractured mean? It does not mean that it's broken. It's just mean that the city skyline, it cannot be viewed completely, right? So whatever is visible of the city skyline is reflected by this particular mirrored glass. All right, it wouldn't be surprising if it had a tractor beam instead of a door. What is a tractor beam? Tractor beam is something that's a sort of a light that looks like a spotlight. All right, so it says that someone would come from a tractor beam instead of a door. It looks like some UFO. If you know what a UFO means, it's an unidentified flying object. It looks like that. All right, so that's what it wouldn't be surprising if it had something of that sort to enter instead of a door. So that's what they mean by futuristic. Okay, yes. So a very interesting piece of article and also a very interesting museum. As I draw close, a middle-aged Dutch couple are debating. They are arguing about whether they like it or not. Okay, they decide not, as in they think that okay, we don't like it, but snap selfies in front of it anyway. They don't like it, but they still snap selfies. They take selfies in front of it anyway. Okay, so this is what the initial paragraph was about. Let's move on now. Rotterdammers, Rotterdammers, anybody who belongs to the city of Rotterdam, it's located in Netherlands. Okay, are used to high concept architecture. What is high concept? Again, complex. All right, anything that's difficult to understand. High concept. Okay, so it can be anything that you studied in school was high concept. Imagine that subject. That's exactly, maybe maths was high concept, sometimes science was high concept, right? So that's how. So it used to high concept architecture. But what makes this building unusual is its function. What is unusual? Something that's not very regular, something that's irregular among its peers. Okay, that's what unusual means. It's a warehouse. What's a warehouse again? What's a warehouse? It's like a storehouse of a lot of objects. Warehouse, right? It's like a storeroom. That's what it is. So it's the function of this particular high concept architecture building is unusual. It's like a warehouse. That's what the article, the writer feels that it's like really, really weird that this building is a warehouse. It's like a storeroom. Okay, designed by the Dutch firm. This is a company and known as the Depot. All right, this museum is known as the Depot. It has been created for one of the most well-regarded art museums in Netherlands, the Moijmans van uh, Beuningen. Okay, when I visit in mid-September, contractors are installing vitrines and polishing concrete floors. So this particular place, this particular architecture, piece of architecture was designed for an art museum, and this is the name of that museum. It's also this particular place was called the depot because it's a warehouse. It's called a depot. All right. So this particular person who is writing it visited this in mid-September. Contractors, as in anybody who builds a particular building, are installing vitrines. What is a vitrine? Floors. All right. Tiles. You've heard of vitrified tiles? Similar to that. Vitrines and polishing concrete floors. Okay. In December, art handlers will begin moving in museum's collection. Art handlers, anybody who take care of the pieces of art, they're called art handlers. That's all. Okay, yes, we'll begin moving in, and it will open fully late next year. So this is what is the timeline of when the museum will be ready for visitors. All right, and it's very unusual that it's a warehouse instead of just becoming a normal museum. Okay, it's depot. It's depot. We will come to speaking. We'll do that when we speak. All right. So, did you now get how weird this museum is? But there are more weirder things coming up about the museum. So, let me just read and tell you what the other two paragraphs mean. Okay. So, in the atrium, what is an atrium? Anything that's circular, anything that's open, anything that's surrounded by a lot of other rooms, that's the atrium. Anything that's center of the building, that's called an atrium. In this case, it's the center of a certain building. In this case, it's certain the center of this particular museum. All right. Okay. Okay, so in the atrium, this is the name of a person. Okay, Jarrell X, the Boijman's director, is wearing the look of a man who can't quite believe it's finally happened. Look at this phrase, wearing the look. Wearing the look, as in has the look. Okay, so he's not literally wearing the look. It's just that he's wearing the look of the man. He has the look of the man who can't quite believe it's finally happening. So this person who's the director can't believe that he has this particular museum erect, and this museum is high concept and he has so many objects to display. Right? A treasure chest. What is a chest? It's not chest, human chest. It's just that it is a collection of a lot of objects. That's a chest, usually valuable objects. Okay, a treasure chest. Yes, chamber, correct. He exclaims, gesturing, showing, okay, pointing out towards a dizzying lattice of glass stairwells. Do not worry about the vocabulary here. It just means lattice is basically just the checks. Okay, imagine a lot of checks with wood or glass. So there are a lot of glass stairwells above our head, and that looks like it makes you go dizzy. Okay, so that's what he means. So when he shows above his head that there's so many stairwells above his head, and they're all interconnected, they look like they're interconnected from the bottom. All right, so every single thing we have will be on display. All right, so he's marveled at this piece of architecture himself. He's not able to believe what's happening. All right, that's this paragraph. To call the depot a warehouse is to do it a considerable disservice. As in, so this particular museum, which is called the depot, calling it a warehouse is like an insult to it. Okay, it is a warehouse of sorts, but calling it that is like a disservice. Okay, you can't call a depot, this particular thing, a warehouse. Okay, the building is an attempt to turn the Boijmans inside out. What is inside out? Reverse. Okay, imagine a shirt, you're taking it inside out, as in you're reversing it. Okay, all right. Okay, instead of locking their crown jewels away behind closed doors, the institution has plowed, brought in, pulled in money. Okay, as in again, locking their crown jewels, anything that anything that's a jewel, instead of having it safe behind closed doors, as in having it safe, that's what it means. The institution has plowed 55 million euros into an open storage facility in the heart of the city, right next to the 1930s building. All right. So all of these jewels have now been put into an open storage facility, and the institution has brought in so much money to make sure that it's displayed. All right. Gesturing means to point out. Okay. So now did you guys understand what this museum is all about? It is a very interesting article, isn't it? And it looks very similar to your passage in the reading test. Did you guys now understand this? Yeah. Yes. Okay. All right. Great. Ketsi, Gayatri, Dheeraj, Deep. Correct. Exactly. Yes. Okay. Great. So now that you've understood this article, plowed means to pull in, to bring in money. That's what plowed means. Okay. Yeah. So now that we've understood what the article means, let's now speak it out aloud. Okay. So you are going to use this article as an opportunity to remove any inhibitions that you have about speaking. Now, when you speak these words out aloud, it is important for you to emote. Okay. And especially this article, because this has a lot of information that's surprising, right? So, one, you call a museum a warehouse, and two, you pulled so much money to display objects into the museum. And it's also been, the structure is also very unusual for a museum, right? So all of these things are kind of surprising things that we've not heard before. Correct? So let's try and read the article out aloud in the same manner that I do it. Okay? Now, when I pause, you also should pause. And when I put stresses on a certain word, make sure you. Okay, spot of light from a vehicle. No, that's not tractor beam. Okay, tractor beam is like a spotlight. All right, so that definitely means spotlight, but it's not from a vehicle. All right. Yes. So they say that it would not even have a door to bring in light. It would just have a tractor beam of light from somewhere. That's what they mean. Yes. Anyway, let's read the article now and try to use the same kind of stresses and pauses. Okay? Let's get started. Okay. From a block away, it looks like a craft from a more advanced civilization has landed in the center of Rotterdam. has landed in the center of Rotterdam. The structure is futuristic. Futuristic. The structure is futuristic. With walls of mirrored glass curving up some 40 meters. Reflecting the iron gray clouds and the fractured city skyline. Okay. It wouldn't be surprising if it had a tractor beam instead of a door. Tractor beam. Okay. Try to soften the R's here, similarly curving. Tractor beam. Okay. Iron gray clouds. Yes. Instead of a door. As I draw close, a middle-aged Dutch couple are debating whether they like it. They decide not, but snap selfies in front of it anyway. But snap selfies in front of it anyway. Moving on. Rotterdammers are used to high concept architecture. Are used to high concept architecture. But what makes this building unusual is its function. It's a warehouse. Okay, repeat after me. Designed by the Dutch firm MVRDV, and known as the depot, not depot, depot, okay? And known as the depot, it has been created, it has been created for one of the most well-regarded art museums in the Netherlands. We're just moving on here. When I visit in mid-September, contractors are installing vitrines and polishing concrete floors. In December, art handlers will begin moving in the museum's collection of Rembrandts, that's how it's pronounced, Rembrandts, Bosches, Magrittes, and Dallas. Some 150,000 objects. Do it the same way, 150,000 objects. It will open fully late next year. All right. Okay, great. So did you guys do it in the same amount of stresses? There were a lot of dramatic information. There were dramatic pieces of information here, right? So that's why it is important for you to stress on 150,000, high concept. Okay, great. So good that you did it. Let's just do the other two paragraphs now. Okay, okay. In the atrium, the appointments director is wearing the look of a man who can't quite believe it's finally happening. Who can't quite believe it's finally happening. A treasure chest, no? He exclaims, gesturing towards a dizzying lattice of glass stairwells above our heads. Every single thing we have will be on display. To call the depot a warehouse is, it turns out, to do it a considerable disservice. The building is an attempt to turn the Boijmans inside out. Instead of locking their crown jewels away behind closed doors. And when you have these similar letters, just try and pronounce it together. Okay, closed doors. You don't have to say closed doors. Okay, similarly here, aged Dutch couple, middle-aged Dutch couple. Okay, it's like combined. Yes, so behind closed doors, the institution has plowed. Okay, the GH are silent here, plowed 55 million euros into an open storage facility in the heart of the city, right next to the main 1930s building. Right next to the main 1930s building. Okay, so that's with this particular article now. Okay, yes, so was this now clear? We did it 3 times over. So now did you get a good hang of what the article is all about? We read it 3 times, right? But obviously on your exam day, you won't have the time to read it thrice. So that's why your reading speed should be really high. You cannot be stuck to one word and try and understand what the usage and what the meaning is. You will have to move on and make sure you understand the entire gist of the passage and not just that word. Okay, all right. Good job in everyone who did this. Neelam, Sam, Sanjeev, Manoj, Avinash. Good. Okay. Okay, so now comes the activity of framing sentences. Now comes the activity of framing sentences. Let's pick a word and let's try and frame sentences here. Okay, let's do it. I think high concept is a great word. I mean, it's casual, it's kind of semi-formal in that sense, not very useful in your essays and all that. Can be used in your speaking test. Okay, yes, we will do disservice as well, but I want you to find some examples of things that you find high concept. What is a high concept thing? Anything that's difficult to understand by a common man, right? That's what high concept means. Okay, so try, and I want you to take your own examples. Think about what you found high concept when you were studying. Okay, usually associated with studies, with anything that's a field of study. All right, yes, complex, anything that's complex. Okay, anything that's complex for you to understand, a piece of work, some kind of an article, some kind of a subject, that kind. Try framing sentence with high concept. Okay, yeah, let's try and do that. Let's try and do that with high concept now. It means anything that's complex. Okay, Yeah, it needn't be only a subject, but it can be usually, anything that's difficult for you to understand. Any piece of work, yes, any piece of art. NPS is one of the most high concept. Okay, again, just say NPS is a high concept project. Okay. Yeah, SpaceX creates high concept rockets. Murtaza, good. Eiffel Tower is a high concept architecture. Eiffel Tower has high concept architecture. Manoj Kumar. In today's life, technology is really high concept. Okay, is looked at being a high concept by elderly people. Sanjeev. Okay, Akshada, AI is a high concept subject for me. Okay, for me too. Sam, in mid 90s, vacuum cleaner was a high concept idea among everyone. So high concept is an adjective. Okay, so it's used before a noun. It's not used as a noun. Okay, in mid 90s, vacuum cleaner was a high concept idea for everyone. Okay, physics is high concept subject is a high concept subject. The work of the universe is high concept. Great. Recently, the understanding of the coronavirus has been a high concept. No, the understanding of coronavirus is high concept, Lily. My teacher provided me high concept ideas for my project work. Deep, good job. When I was in my school days, math was a high concept subject for me. Great. Doing COVID test is high concept. Okay. It's very hard to understand high concept books. Okay. Today's article was high concept for someone. Okay. Machine learning is a high concept subject. Okay. Adnan says business management is a high concept subject for non commerce. I agree. Ketsi, multinational companies all have high concept characteristics. Okay, again, high concept workflows, maybe, right? Not characteristics, workflows. They whatever they work, however they work is too high concept, right? Okay, good job in framing sentences with high concept now. Let's do it with another word, which someone gave me suggestion on the chat box. Disservice is like an insult, is like a slap on the face to someone. All right, so this particular article says that calling this depot a warehouse is like an insult. Okay, disservice, that's how it's pronounced. Now try framing a sentence with disservice. Okay, good sentence, Isabella. Gia, good sentences coming in. Let's now try disservice. Yes, yeah, good job, good job. Think of an insult, think of some kind of an insult, disservice to something or someone. Okay, so to call someone this is a disservice to his work, that kind. Again, it's a noun. Disservice is a noun. Insult is a noun, right? Similar to that. It cannot be used like high concept. High concept is an adjective. Surgical strike, okay. Okay, Jaffer. All right, no comments there. In today's era, most of the people disservice their grandparents. Okay, I'm not sure if it's used that way. Okay. Okay, it's a noun. It's a noun. Okay, to be a considerable disservice, think of it as a noun. Don't think of it as a verb. Yes, he had done a disservice to his mother by ignoring her love. Deep, good. It might be a disservice to that person to judge a person from his clothes. Yes. No, disservice is a noun. It cannot be an adjective, Anushri. Okay. My friend Milan called the waiter a stupid. The waiter stupid was disservice. Good. Murtaza, excellent sentence. The paper which I published was rejected and it was a disservice for our team. Yes. Good job, Ketsi, Murtaza, and all the others. Nice. Nice sentences coming in today. Okay, so earlier teachers disservice in front of other students. Okay, again, not used correctly, Akhilesh. Not declaring the excavation to the government and selling them elsewhere is a disservice to our rich history. Isabella, wonderful sentence. Wonderfully written. Again, so look at Isabella's sentence, maybe Ketsy's sentence, Murtaza's sentence. They all are using this word exactly how it should be used. Okay. Okay, my class topper always disservice? No. So the class topper insulting other project workers or other classmates is a disservice. Okay. Yesterday I visited, no, again, it was a disservice. No. It cannot be an insult if you visit a hotel. You're using it wrongly. I disservice my boss? No, again. So talking to my boss that way was a disservice to his reputation. Okay. Again, it's used as a noun. You guys are using it as a verb here. Okay. Okay, good. Not following the rules made by the government is a disservice. Definitely, Lily, I agree. Last year, I had traveled to Paris, and the hotel staff was so disservice to us. No, the hotel staff behaving that way was a disservice to us. Correct? Disobeying our parents is a disservice. Okay. But again, it's like an insult. So it's not like literally saying not serving anyone. It's an insult. Okay. Okay. In olden days, nursing was considered a disservice. Wonderful. Okay, Sharan. Yes, nice sentence again. All right. So you guys are able to frame sentences very well. So if you guys are able to look at other sentences and you also like their sentences, just maybe give a thumbs up. Okay, and maybe mention their name. Motivate the others also. Everybody is here to learn, right? So it's not that you are good or the other person is bad. All right, great job everyone in framing sentences. Now this is how you learn new words, right? Only when you make mistakes, only when you learn how it is used, it can be used by you naturally, right? So this particular word disservice is a noun. It's similar to insult. High concept is like anything that's difficult to understand. It's an adjective here. Okay, all right. So Abin, it's his disservice attitude spoiled his career? No. So him being a disservice spoiled his career. Okay, so it's like an insult basically. Okay. Okay, all right now. So that's about today's guided newspaper practice session. Before I end, I also want to talk about the fast track program. I'm not really asking you to frame opinions today. There's nothing that you can frame opinion out of this particular. It's an informative article, and hence it's always good if you try and frame sentences. Okay. So yes, before I end, I want to talk about the advanced program. All of you, or most of you here, are actually advanced members already. Avinash, Deep, Avin, Jia, Ketsi, who comes every day, Shiv Kailash, uh, all of you, Murtaza, all of you guys are already fast track members. If you wish to be a part of the program, the link to the admissions form is there in the description. You can fill it out and you can wait for a counselor to call you and help you understand the details of the program. Okay, but the program contains intensive video lessons uploaded on an exclusive app, and it also contains daily quizzes on vocabulary and grammar. Along with that, we also give you practice sets on every section. So we give 1 week to each section, including grammar, and we give you practice on all of these sections of IELTS and grammar as well. We also have detailed live classes around the practice set that we give you, and weekends are given to even more detailed live classes. Apart from all of these things, you are accessible to us, the chief coaches, on our mobile through our mobile app again, and you are also able to have access to 10 full one-on-one reviews. Okay, so this is how the program looks like. The details of the program are there in the admissions form too. Okay, please take a look and fill it out if you're interested. I will see you in another session. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining in. This session was really interesting. Thank you. Thank you.